All right, so today we take a look at an all-new MagSafe battery bank from ESR with the HaloLock Mini Kickstand Wireless Power Bank. Now, of course, shout out to them for sending this over to review, and shout out to y'all for letting me know. You guys stay on it, man. When there's a new product out there that you want me to talk about, you guys let me know in the comment section. So I just kind of wanted to bring this presentation right here so I can show you what comes in the box. When you get the package, it's going to come literally with your battery bank and your USB-C to C cable if you need it to charge, if you need to charge another device. You know, we can't charge iPhones with that because of the Type-C port, but anything else Type-C when it comes to Android devices, yep, you can use that cable. So let's go ahead and take a look at the actual battery bank itself. Now, this right here is going to be rated up to 5,000 milliamp hours. Now, no, it's not going to be one of those ones that's going to get you from 0 to 100. ESR makes one, but this also does come pretty close, and we'll talk about that, especially when you're talking about wired charging from the MagSafe battery bank. So 5,000 milliamp hours. Let's go ahead and take a look and step around the actual battery bank so we can see what's going on. Tech made easier. That's ESR's slogan when it comes to it. On the side, let's go ahead and talk about this USB-C port. All right, now this USB-C port is able to output up to 12 watts, especially when you're talking about charging a device, but it actually can charge, it can actually take in 18 watts of charging. So yeah, you can charge this up pretty quick when we are talking about that Type-C port. All right, so 12 watts out, 18 in when it comes to that. Right here, of course, you're going to get your LED buttons with the power button on the side. It's going to light up, let you know your basically battery level when it comes to it. But the highlight of this power bank, and I love MagSafe battery banks, that has another little feature just from being a solid power bank, all right, you have a kickstand. Now, ESR, I review a bunch of cases. I review a bunch of cases that have kickstands and different things like that. ESR is probably one of the better kickstands out there when it comes to accessories. All right, and it's good to see that nothing changed when we are talking about the MagSafe battery pack. They bought those nice kickstand from cases and put it in the battery bank, and that is very good to see. The friction of it just feels very good. It doesn't feel weak at all. Very nice kickstand, probably one of the best kickstand on any MagSafe battery bank right now. All right, also let's take a look at the design, because we all know when it comes to MagSafe battery packs, they just do one thing. They charge, they all blocky, they don't really feel good in your hand. But let's go ahead and bring over the iPhone 13 Pro Max, and I did pair it with an ESR magnetic hybrid case. Of course, they are both part of the HaloLock system, and that's where you're going to get your maximum strength when you are talking about magnet connection. But when you're holding this in your hand, this is probably the most ergonomic MagSafe battery pack that's out there, because it really conforms to your hand perfectly, because you have a slope here in the front, you got slopes on the slide, and you have slopes on the slopes on the bottom right here. So when you're holding it, it does feel more comfortable, and you can use it while using your phone and not feel like it's just this big brick that's on the back of your actual phone. So nice, nice something to think about, the details when it comes to this MagSafe battery pack. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the performance of this. Well, before we get to the performance, let's talk a little bit some more features about the MagSafe battery pack. So this does support pass-through charging, all right? So when you got it plugged up magnetically to the back of your phone, you can actually charge this. It will charge the phone and the battery bank itself, so you'll be able to support pass-through charging. All right, they kind of put it out there. I've tested it myself. It works just fine, so it does support pass-through charging. Also, this battery pack gives you ability to turn it off. Now, I know some of you are like, what do you mean turn it off? A lot of these battery banks, when you plug them up, they automatically charge. You can't turn them off. It is what it is. But you can press that power button here, and you can basically turn off your power bank. And say you don't need the juice. You want to save it for a little bit later on in your trip or something like that, and you want to just use your battery bank as an actual stand, you can do that and not worry about having to charge, not worried about wasting any juice or anything like that. But the good thing about it is when you take it off and you pop it back on, it will begin to, it always messes with me on camera. It does when I'm off camera, but it automatically starts charging again without having you turn it on. It keeps trolling me, but it does start again when you're able to pop it back on your phone after you turn it off, and you definitely should be good to go. So it's a good thing that ESR gave it the ability to actually turn off, because a lot of battery banks don't really think about that part of a feature when it comes to this. So there it is right there, if that means something to you. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the performance of this battery bank. Now, I did let my iPhone 13 Pro get down to about 15%, and I was able to get from 15% all the way to about 60%, just straight charging through wireless charge. Now this is rated up to 5 watts, 7.5 watts on the maximum scale. I'm not sure what triggers, either you get 5 or 7.5, but I was able to get from 10 to about 60% when this was fully depleted. So it's going to give you a little bit of extra juice when you're talking about using wirelessly. It'll definitely get you out of a pinch, especially if you have iPhone 13. If you have a 13 mini, it's going to give you one full charge. 13, the regular 13, I think it's like 0.8, 0.6, and so it kind of varies. I'll pop them up on the screen so you can see what the charging times for each phone is, but of course it varies with different battery capacities and different things like that. So it was able to get me from 10 to about 60% when we're talking about wireless charge. So last night I let my phone get down to about 15% again, and I plugged this in, but this time I plugged it up to a Type-C to Lightning cable, and I was able to get from about 15% all the way to almost 88%, and that's going to be using straight hardwired through this with that output of 12 watts. So of course, you're going to get the better performance when you actually plug this in to charge, besides letting it wirelessly charge, all right? So just always know that you're going to get a better performance when you actually use this as a wired battery bank, more so than wireless charging. Now, of course, you see it does get a bunch of smudges on it, but it is what it is. It's a battery bank. It's made for one thing, and that's to charge. So solid battery bank, man. I really have no complaints about this. And when you're talking about heat, I feel like it didn't really heat up a lot. It did get a little warm, but nothing like the Anker 622. We know that thing gets uncontrollably hot, in my opinion. It did get a little heat, but it wasn't anything that I would have raised concern about when we are talking about charging it. It did just fine, in my opinion. And this thing is also very light. Like I said, I feel like this is one of the most sleekest battery packs out there. I know I said that on YouTube in my community post, and they're like, this is sleek. I'm like, yeah, compared to a lot of battery banks that just blob square with nothing to even give you the ability to hold your phone. I really think this thing was very thought of when it comes to the design of this MagSafe battery bank. So right now, if you're watching this video, man, it is the last day of Prime Day. This is a normal price of $50, but if you want to go pick one right now, you can get $10 off, and this is going to be at $40. All right, so go out there, pick yourself up one. I do think this is a nice solid battery bank right here, especially if you are somebody that is invested in the actual HaloLock system. I think this will be a good option because this is where you get your maximum strength when you are talking about MagSafe battery. It does get a little bit weaker when you're talking about putting it on a case that doesn't have the HaloLock system, but it works just the same. But you know you're going to get that maximum strength when you pair it with a ESR case that has MagSafe. All right, so head over there, go pick yourself up one. But if you're one of those people who still need that extra juice to be able to get you from 0 to 100%, I'll be sure to leave ESR's Big Brother video review that I did. I'll pop that above. Go check that out. But you already know the standard procedures, man. If you made it this far, let me see those flex emojis. Y'all be safe. Catch you on the next one.